Russia-Ukraine issue, the hot topic of nowadays. The question may arise, are they really going to fight? Will it be a start of the Third World War? What will America and China do? On which side does India going to stand with? Is really war the solution? Can diplomats solve this war? We will figure out these answers for this question in this video. If you don't know about this issue or you want to know about it from the scratch, you came to the right place. By the end of the video, I'll assure you that you know all about the politics behind it and also the insight behind these. Levada Center, an NGO which is constantly observing Vladimir Putin's popularity and public rating in their president. In 2018, Putin's approval rating fell to 63% and just 49% would vote Putin if presidential election would be there. In 2020, Putin's approval rating dropped to historic low 59% and in April polled to Levada Center. Hence, it is clear that Russian President Putin is doing all these troop development for his publicity and trying to regain his image and prestige among the Russians. On 21st December 2021, the American intelligence agency gave an alert that Russia will invade Ukraine by early 2022. They released some satellite pictures showing the deployment of Russian troops and military tanks and hardware along the Ukraine border. The Russian diplomat rejected this claim and stated that it is just a regular army deployment across the border. From 2014, Russia has made a number of cyber attacks on Ukraine. To be precise, 1.5 months has been observed power cut across the country. Nearly 2 lakh people suffered from this power cut and many government servers and website has been hacked. The European countries are doing their aids and proclaim its help to Ukraine, and if Russia annexes Ukraine, it will be a great strike back on the West. Yes, it is true that Russia will not risk the relationship to the NATO and EU for Ukraine. But the point to be noted that 1/3 of oil requirement of all the European nations is satisfied by Russia. If a war came, it is clear that the rate of crude oil is going to touch the peak and there is no doubt about it. It is a leverage for Russia. Right now you are watching this video and Russia has deployed 1 million of soldiers, 1,500 tanks, 330 aircraft, 75 warships and 10 different war bases for attacks. Till 2013, Ukraine was friendly nation to Russia. The rulers were pro-Russian, but after the election in 2013, though Ukraine was not satisfied by joining the European Union, EU has signed an economic agreement, DCFTA, Deep and Comprehensive Free Trade, which tends to increase the production and import of drone weapons, which really alarmed the Russia, and in the same time Russia was busy in annexation of Crimea in 2014. Donetsk and Luhansk, which were the eastern part of Ukraine, started their protests to make them independent countries, and they want to join Russia because these places are majority are Russian supporters, which are settled by Russian after the USSR breakdown for the political gain. These Russian supporters were constantly protesting to separate from Ukraine and want to join Russia. They were funded by Russia. The civil war was going on. Russia was keen and well known how to move their pieces in the global arena. Russia built a Crimea bridge across the Sea of Azov in 2016. The master plan was the height of the bridge. It was just 33 meters high, not enough for any large ship to enter through it. By constructing this Crimea bridge, Russia ensured that Ukraine is alone from the Western countries. The another geographical advantage to Russia to invade Ukraine is Belarus. Belarus is an ex-Soviet country which is still an ally of Russia, and Belarus is sharing their borders with Ukraine, and Russia already set up a camp in Belarus successfully. Crimea is most geographically important land which is much needed to Russia, which is used for entering into the Red Sea and import-export of oils. Without it, many Russian ports are just useless. Russia will give any price for it, and this successfully captured in 2014. Russia's main aim is to reunite the breakdown countries of USSR in 1991. The Western countries and America keen to stop the rebirth of this giant USSR. Now let's get into the timeline of this incident. November 9, 1989, Berlin Wall was torn apart by some anti-governmental protest. A pact was made by Russia and America that NATO will not admit any ex-Soviet nation as their member countries. and it will not expand on east side. NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In November 2021, Russia successfully examined the missiles to destroy satellite at the space. The press release mentioned that we Russians can able to destroy 30 American satellites within just few minutes. On 31st January 2022, Russia asked the US diplomats to leave the Ukraine as soon as possible. They will not ensure their safety there. This is a big threat from Russia to the Western world. After 2021, NATO is trying to expand towards the east and want to admit Ukraine. Russia will acknowledge and what they are doing are notable. The Russian president himself wrote an article on the historical unity of Russians and Ukrainians, which clearly describes the state of Russia. The West has tried to solve this crisis by diplomatic way, but all in vain. Russia didn't want to withdraw from its stand. The tension is growing across the borders. As mentioned earlier, Russian supporters funded by Russia were the threat for civil war and many riots going inside Ukraine. There is one thing to be noted in the south of Russia. There is Kazakhstan, the Cup of Public, which is considerably signed for Russia to stop its play for a while, because America will going to stir riots and revolt in Kazakhstan, which will in turn to influence the Russian politics significantly, because it will lead to entrance of Kazakhstani refugees into Russia. Many journalists and experts says that if further tension grows on the border of Ukraine and Russia, and if Russia try to capture Ukraine, and in the same way China will definitely try to capture Taiwan, the hypersonic missile on the both places, America will not be able to focus on both the places. If does that, Russia and China will take down America much easily, which will definitely strike on America in a bad way. The truth is, European countries which are badly affected by this COVID pandemic, they are not in financial state to support a war, which is most clear and direct answer in this scenario, but nobody knows what's going to happen in future. You may have a question on which side India is going to choose, Russia or America. The answer being very tricky one, because both the superpowers of the world are our great friends. What if your two best friends fight with each other? What would you do? India will be pushed in that same position. Russia is our best friend since independence. During Indo-Pak War, Russia was our main weapon supplier, and during that war, many aids were done by Russia. Many software which we are using now are US software, and whatever we fight with China, many goods are imported from China. Hence, it is unpredictable on which side India is going to stand with. But whatever happens, war is not the only solution. I wanna end this video with the popular saying that politics is war without bloodshed, and war is politics with bloodshed. Any comments on this video are warmly welcomed here. If you like this video, do share with your friends and family, and do like and subscribe.